Well, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Brother West. I'm coming back again, and I have another word. And this word is titled "The Weakest Link." It's titled "The Weakest Link," and the weakest link. I want to explain. I don't know if you noticed. I done one video one time called "The Enemy." He's after our vulnerabilities, our weak spots. Areas that we have issues in. That's the area that the enemy focuses on. He don't focus on your strength, where you're strong at. He focuses where you have a problem. And that little small problem that you have, he's trying to make it something big. And if I can explain about the weakest link, now you think about it. Weakest link. You think about it in any sports, football, basketball, baseball, or you can even say boxing. Now in boxing, what each boxer do, they study each other, they study the opponent. And what they look for a weakness. They look for a weakness, they look for a weak spot, they look for something where they're vulnerable, where they can capitalize on it. Because a lot of times with boxers, they'll study this boxer. Now this boxer might hit, but this boxer trying to hit this guy, he might leave himself open. And if he's leaving himself open, then that guy gonna see it. And at the point in time, he's gonna wait his time, he's gonna wait his spot, wait his spot. It might be 5th round, 7th round, 8th round, 9th round, 10th round, 11th round, 12th round. But whatever, he's gonna wait for his spot. And then when you least expect it, when you think you're knocking him out, that's when he gets you. And what that boxer did, he capitalized on the vulnerabilities. You think about even in basketball. In basketball, I'm a Laker. But in basketball, they study the same thing. They study strategy. Sorry, they study strategy, but also they study strategy in the sense of they're finding the weakest spot where they can have a competitive advantage. That's what they look for, a competitive advantage. And each team, and once they figure out who's weak, they exploit it. Say, for example, they center maybe 6'8", but the Lakers got center 7'1", 7'2". And so, as Shaq would say, that's barbecue chicken. Was it fox in the hole or something like that? Mouse in the trap, mouse trap. And so what happens, throw the ball down to the big guy, and he scores the point. Same thing with football. Football, you look for the weakest link. Weakest link, a lot of times, for years and years, with the Patriots, they always found the weakest link. And a lot of times, oftentimes, the weakest link was in the secondary, where the tight end, and the tight end was so big that the linebacker couldn't guard him, or so fast, and so big that the receivers can't knock the ball down or nothing like that. And so, a lot of times, that's how the Patriots won. They had a competitive edge. And that's what, if I can say this, what the enemy does. He tries to find a competitive edge, and what he looks for the weakest link. Scripture says that the enemy cannot come into a good man's house unless he first bind the strong man. And in him binding the strong man, then he's able to get to the goods. And so that bind is a tie. It's something that ties up, stops. And a lot of times, when it comes to fights, and if there's a fight with groups, oftentimes what they do, they find the weakest ones. They find the weakest links. They find the weakest ones. They find the most vulnerable ones. And in a lot of cases, when it comes to situations and stuff like that with family, what they do, they try to get, if it's a man, they try to get the wife, or they try to get the kids. Because if it's a fight or some kind of enemy fight, because the enemy knows if I get the wife and the kids, I'm gonna get to his heart, and so he gonna come to me. If I get what belongs to him, if I get what he cares about so much, then he coming. And so that's what the devil does. And see, the devil will bait you too. See what he'll do, he'll dangle certain things, and he'll give you a facade and make you think that is what you want. It make you think that all your dreams, because he comes as an angel of light. And then once you get there, he tricks you. So those are things that you got to be wise from. And so in this time, in this hour, that's what the enemy is. He's after your vulnerabilities. He's after where you're weak. He's after where, if you're going through some kind of confusion, he's going to send even more confusion to you, talk to your head. And if you're going through something, if you're going something in your emotions, he can always try to send people to you that keep talking to that emotion, especially if you've been betrayed or you're in a relationship and you're trying to recover. What he will do, and you're trying to recover and heal, the enemy will try to send bad advice to you. He will try to send things to you to keep you picking at that wound. He will even bring thoughts into your mind to keep you to keep thinking about that situation. And so the more you think about it, the more it's going to be wet, the more it's not going to heal. You're not going to heal if you keep thinking about it. So that's what the enemy does. And especially also one of the greatest ways for the believer, especially in a marriage that the enemy tries to operate in, is when there's a disagreement in the home. Because when there's a disagreement in the home, the first thing will happen when there's a disagreement in the home, in some cases somebody's going to get quiet. And when someone gets quiet verbally, that's when their mind becomes noisy and loud. And so that's when the accuser brother comes in, that where the enemy, Apollyon, will begin to accuse. And what the enemy will do when there's a disagreement, he will gas you up. It's like putting kerosene on the fire. And he will tell you that everything you feel and everything you see and everything you believe is right. You cannot see but the way you see. So in other words, the enemy will put blindness on you where you can only see yourself. Where you point the finger, and so that's what he do. And the purpose of that also, he's trying to do double fold. He's trying to split. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to from accusations, he's trying to get one person to run the other person out. And by just accusing and by just talking and all that. And then in some cases, some people are like, man, if you keep accusing me of stuff, I might as well do it. Especially I ain't done nothing. And so that's what the enemy uses too. He'll put out stuff that's false. He'll tell somebody else something. He'll tell somebody else something that you're doing something. But you ain't doing nothing, but they'll believe it. And then after they believe it, then they're going to act up on it and they're going to do stuff. And then they're going to come at you in some kind of way. And then when they come at you in some kind of way, then you're going to become offended. And then you're going to look at them in some kind of way. And then you're going to go back at them, especially if you ain't done that. And then what he's doing, he's causing, is a virus. When he begins to talk to your ears, when you're not communicating with both people, what's happened? He becomes that virus. And a virus is when a person becomes paralyzed. A virus, what happens, there's a virus that gets into their body. And that virus camouflage. But what this virus does, it makes the body know that something's wrong. And so instead of getting the virus, because the virus is being camouflaged, can't see it, it'll turn against itself and begin to destroy itself while the virus begins to eat away. Does that make sense? When the virus gets into the body, it will disrupt the communication. The virus will break and disrupt the communication. And it's almost like it's going stealth. When the virus gets in the body and the body can't pick it up. And then what happens? The body begins to turn against itself, attack itself. Same thing with the enemy. That's what he does. He's looking for the weakest link. And the access and the avenue that he comes through is our mind. If you have a weak mind, if you're in an emotional mess, the enemy on you. If you can't control your moods, if you can't control your feelings, if you can't fight your faults, he's big you. If every move you have, you act up on it, everything that you hear, you respond to it, he got you. You are being controlled by him. And see what it does is that, and so he attacks people. He attacks people who are vulnerable and who feel alone, who are lonely. Vulnerable and lonely. And what he will do, he will attack and talk to those vulnerable spots. He will talk to those lonely spots, saying, why you're lonely, why you're by yourself. You don't need to deal with that. You don't need to put up with this. You better than that. You better, and so what he'll bring blindness, where you will only see yourself. He's yourself. He'll make you become selfish, where you only see yourself, and in your mind, you will become the judge, the jury, and the executioner concerning some kind of matter in which you didn't talk to no one, no other individual involved. But it becomes, and see what happens, the enemy, he will, if you listen to him long enough, he will create a certain world in your mind where you'll live a certain way. You'll be living in a certain way. And it's like no one else in your world. It's like you got your own world. And what happens when you come out of your world, you want people to do this. You want people to do that. Not considering that other people have a life and they have things they're dealing with. But he will get you to a place where you'll have tunnel vision. And where you can only see your problems, your conditions. I done been through this. I done been hurt. He did this. She did that. And I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. He will indoctrinate you with lies. He will indoctrinate you with the melancholy spirit. He will get you to believe it. He will empower you. And then you become bitter and angry. And then at one time, you help people, you love people, you gave. But now you're a plotter. Now you're a manipulator. Now you're trying to get back at them. You're trying to. It's like the story of this one lady in the Bible. Her name was Tamar. And she had this one husband, and she wanted a baby. But the husband died. Didn't have no baby. But then, in those days, she married her brother. And God wanted the brother to have a baby through him. But the brother, instead of doing it to her, he let it go on the ground. God killed him too. And so the father had one more child, and he was young. And so what he said, he told the woman, I said, well, I'll tell you what. Let him get up a little age, let him get older. And the moment that he get older, you can have him. And so time went on, the boy then got older. And then the boy got older, the promise that he made to her, she realized that he lied. And that pissed off. Oh, that pissed off. And so from that day forward, when he rejected and lied to her, that's when he had a plot to get even, to get him back. And I know I'm talking to somebody right now. This is something that happened to you. Somebody lied to you. Somebody did something to you. Somebody hurt you in some kind of way. But the moment that hurt happened, the moment that situation happened, that day, you got a plan. You got a plan of revenge. And so now, systematically, you are executing your plan. But God says stop. Because it's not going to end up how you think it's going to end. It's going to blow up in your face. Let me tell you. Not a woman. So what she did, she disguised herself as a harlot to seduce this man. And so she was saying, now your son ain't going to give me no baby. And you lied about the other son. Well, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And so she did. She was pretty and cute. And he called her one day and stuff like that and got with her. She was disguised. And once he got with her and they were intimate and stuff like that, she ran and left. He didn't know her name, nothing like that. And so he was wondering, what happened to her? Where she come from and nothing like that. But you know what? It's crazy because when you sneaking and creeping, somebody will see you. When you sneaking and creeping, somebody will see you. And so what happened was somebody saw her, knew who she was, and told it to that man. And once he found out, I think it was, who was it? Jacob? No, it was Jacob. I think it was Jacob or Judah, one of them. And once he found out, it was Jacob. He went to her, took the baby, got the baby, she had the baby. He took that baby. And so he took that baby. And so she wanted the baby, but he took it because she deceived him. 2 wrongs didn't make it right. 2 wrongs didn't make it right. But still, because she did that, and because he was, in those days, he owned the land, all that. He could do what he wanted to do. And because of that, he took the baby. So she wanted the promise. But all she could do was touch the promise, hold the promise. look at the promise. But unfortunately, because of what she did, she wasn't able to embrace or enjoy the promise. Those are my words. God bless you.